Hey, welcome back to Mike's Italian Grand Adventure. Guess what? I'm in Italy. I'm here. But guess what? It's raining again. It's been pouring rain. I got woken up at like 5 this morning with thunder and lightning and heavy rain. So as you can see, Sasha here is safely parked under cover. Very nice of my accommodations tonight to offer that to me. And I was gonna push a little bit further down in Italy since I just got here yesterday to try and beat this rain, but it looks like the rain is pretty bad everywhere south too. So I just decided to stay here an extra day. And it's pretty nice accommodations. So I'm in Friuli-Venezia Giulia, and it's incredible, the trip I've had so far. I left Prague about, I don't know, 5 days ago maybe, and went through Austria, and instead of going around Slovenia, you know, the temperatures weren't that bad, so I decided to come over the Alps. But it's been rainy. I've got rained on each day. Not a lot, I mean, just a little bit towards the end of each day, but hey, I made it, and here I am in Italy. So, the drive from Austria down through the Alps was absolutely spectacular. I've never been in that area before, but I was just on the autoway, just cruising at 130 kilometers an hour, and because it was supposed to rain here, so I wanted to get here before the rain, which I did mostly, so that was good. But I need to go back for sure and ride that area again on the slower roads where I can take my time and take some photos. So maybe in June on the way back up to Prague, I'll swing through there again, because wow, that was spectacular. So I've got some updates on real estate. I met with, or I talked with a company, did a video call with a company that's US based that helps people buy properties in Italy. So I'm gonna cover that a little bit. I also wanted to show a couple of drone videos I took. I got to stay in a really cool Schloss castle in Austria. That was awesome. And then I stayed at this monastery where I'd stayed at last fall actually, but it was super cool. So I got the drone out before I left, and there was a little bit of blue sky, and I was able to fly around it. So I'd like to show you those a little bit. Yeah, it was too wet to fly the drone around the Schloss, but I took some pictures. So here's that. I had an incredible hotel room that had actually a private chapel inside. Probably not the right audience for that, but it was pretty cool nonetheless. The monastery is in Gurk, and it's connected to this cathedral with these huge towers, and it's still a functioning church, but they've turned the monastery section into a hotel. Really nice hotel. I stayed there last fall. Just spectacular. This little tiny town in the mountains. So that was cool, a lot of fun. And then I got into my hotel room yesterday. They didn't have check-in until 5, so I kind of had to kill some time for a couple hours. Went to this really cool town called Palmanova right over here. It's like a 14th century fortress city shaped like a star. So I flew the drone over that a little bit. Hopefully some of the footage turned out, and if it is, then you're seeing it right now. And then I just did a little flight around here because the place I'm staying at happens to have a church right behind it. I mean, literally right behind it. In fact, here, we'll walk over here so you can see it. But I just flew the drone over that before it started raining. But yeah, you can see there's the church right there. And apparently it's a 15th century church with some 16th century paintings. So really, really, really cool history everywhere in Italy, right next to my hotel even. So I'm gonna stay here one more night, and then I'm gonna take off and head down, push around around Venice, and get down to the east coast a little bit of Italy, and we'll see where I go from there. But when we come back, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about the real estate company and what they offer, what services they offer. So we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. So you can see Sasha behind me trying to stay dry this rainy day. So this real estate company I came across, it's an Italian guy who's based in the United States, and I think there's an American woman that works there who is also fluent in Italian, and then they have an accountant, a geometra here, and that's the person that really knows, researches the property, makes sure that all the the ownership is cleared out, and that there's not some heir down the road that owns 5% of the building and is going to come back and haunt you. So they do a deep, exhaustive record search. So that's pretty cool. So the way Italian real estate works is there's a listing agent, and the seller pays the agent 3% roughly, and then the buyer pays that same agent 3%. So they make 6%. It's really interesting. It's very similar to American real estate, which is something that I've been very opposed to for a really long time. In the past, I've bought property in the US, and I've worked with the listing real estate agent because I felt they'd be motivated getting both sides of the deal. But apparently that's what happens here in Italy. So what this company does is they negotiate with the listing agent and say, hey, will you waive your fee, your 3% fee for the buyer? Because we're bringing you the buyer and we're going to take care of everything. And then what they do is they charge me, the buyer, 3.5%. And they provide all these services. So basically, it's like the same price as if I was just going to buy it by myself, but they help you get the Coda Fiscale, which is like the social security number for Italy, which then allows you to buy property, set up a bank account. So they help you through that whole process. They help you write the offer. They help you, let's see what else. Just go through the whole process. It's like a 5, 6, 7-step process to buy a place here in Italy, and they help you through the whole thing. And it basically only costs, 0.5% more than the regular fee you just paid just to buy it. So it seems like an incredibly good deal. The one caveat is that they have a minimum of a $4,000 fee. So the problem with that is, that's the equivalent of buying like a 125,000 euro or 130,000 euro property. As you can tell from the properties I've looked at, I'm not looking to spend nearly that much. I only really want to spend like 50 or 60 or even less if I'm going to fix it up. So it's a little bit more expensive than I would pay if I just bought it on my own. So let's say, 60,000 euros and it's a 3% fee, that's 1,800 euros. So that's, as opposed to 3,800 or 4,000 euros if you want to just round it up. So it's like 3 times as much for a smaller property like that. So I don't know, it's $4,000. That seems like a pretty reasonable price to have someone walk me through this whole process. So I'll have to see. I'll think about it. The one thing it doesn't include, though, is the geometra to do that deep dive into the records. That's an additional $1,500. So now you're looking at $5,500 as opposed to $1,800, and I can hire my own geometra here. In fact, I could hire one that's regional, specific to that area, so they would know more about that specific area, assuming they're good at their job, as opposed to this company has just one for all of Italy. So it's, a lot to think about, but really interesting to talk with them, and they gave me some estimates, like a breakdown of how much it would cost if I were to buy an 80,000 euro place, including taxes that Italy charges. So that was really helpful. They also gave me a couple of references to people who bought places with them. One lives in Italy full-time, and in Abruzzo, actually, where Penne is, where I've been looking at some of those properties. So that's really cool. So we'll see. It might be something that works out. I'm not sure. But I'm going to do some more research on it. I'm going to look at some more properties. In fact, before we leave here, I'm going to jump and show you at least one, maybe 2 other properties that I found, because I know people seem to like that. In fact, my mom gave me a hard time in the last video about how I was going to ride down here from Prague, and she said, but there weren't any properties. I didn't get to see any real estate. So I apologize if you felt the same way as my mom did. So I'm going to put some real estate on the end of this video so you guys can at least see that. But so that's where I'm at. I'm in Italy. I'm here. The grand adventure has begun. I mean, it began a while ago, but now the Italian part of it is beginning. So I'll keep posted. Everything's looking good. I think the weather's supposed to clear up late tomorrow morning, so I'm going to jump on Sasha and head south, get down there. My buddy in Holland told me that there's a Formula One race this weekend right kind of near where I was going to go. So I think if I stick to the coast or just push a little bit further, I can get past it. But, you know, that's going to be booked. There were actually a bunch of things in Prague. There was the World Champion Ice Hockey Championships were going on in Prague for 2 weeks. So all the hotels were sold out after I got there, 2 days after I got there. But also Rammstein, the German heavy metal band, played 2 nights, and I think they said it was like 70,000 people were there. I think each night, 60 or 70,000 each night, or maybe total for the 2 nights. But that would explain all the German license plates we saw when I was going back to Prague after hiking. So anyway, you never know what's going to happen. Actually, there are 2 German people staying here, a really nice couple I was talking to this morning, had bicycles, and they were planning on bicycling today, and the weather didn't work for them either. But they said starting today is like a 2-week holiday in Germany. So like all the schools are out, all the kids are out. And so families are going to be coming down to Italy for 2 weeks. So from Germany. So, you know, all these different things going on around Europe, I don't necessarily know about, and they could definitely impact my plans. But I think if I head down the coast, east coast of Italy, I'm probably okay. Because from what they said, the Germans kind of tend to stay up around Venice here or over in Croatia on the other side of the Adriatic Sea. So I should be okay. But all right, here comes a couple of real estate listings. Enjoy, and I'll keep you posted. Okay, so I promised you guys a couple of real estate listings. So this first one is in a town called Isola del Liri. So it's an interesting town. It's kind of in a river valley, and then the river creates this island here and has like an old town on it. This was actually recommended to me from a comment from someone when I was doing my episode on Rome and the surrounding area. So this would be east and then southeast of Rome right here. So it's a little ways from the ocean. I'm not really sure how nice the beaches are along here, but I thought this was pretty interesting. So yeah, there's a river. It's kind of in a river valley, and there's a little castle here, and there's a waterfall. So pretty cool. Interesting, definitely. Probably a little touristy. Seem to be a bunch of restaurants. Here's the waterfall and castle up above. There seemed to be some pretty good tourism here, but let's just switch over to this view here, and we'll tilt it up a little bit in 3D. The buildings aren't 3D on this one, but you can definitely see the landscape around it. Some mountains surrounded kind of all around it. So that's pretty cool. And then this kind of river valley here. And the property that I found here is right in this little corner here. So it's not on the island, just across the bridge, which means it's probably easier to get to. But it's called the Waterfall House, and it's pretty interesting. It was built in 1967. It looks older, but it's built of stone. It's one of the houses they call a sky to earth house. So I'd seen that before, and I didn't really know what it meant. So sky to earth building. So it basically means you own the whole thing from the sky to the earth. So from ground level up or sky down, whichever way you want to look at it. But here's the building. It's got kind of a patio or outdoor area there, a balcony here off this other room. Pretty unique. It's got some great characteristics. I mean, look at this big stone arch over the window, metalwork, nearby touristy areas, I'm guessing restaurants and cafes and some bars. Here's one of those little terraces off one of the rooms, a view of the island. As you can see, really cool little, historic island, stone buildings. Really cool. And the building itself is really cool too. So you come in this main level, there's room off to the side, and this big kind of entranceway. It looks like you could park a motorcycle here, really, to be honest, if you needed to. Seems strange there's that sink there, but I don't know, maybe this is designed for a kitchen or something. But you'll see lots of stairs, original stone floor. But big tall windows, really cool. I mean, I think it's super interesting. I liked it a lot, obviously. Look at these big tall doors, let some light in. I think it is facing north. That's kind of a drawback, but some cool angles, some funky little areas. You could have a seating area here, maybe a place to hang out and read or whatever. But it's a pretty good size. Here it is again, like I said, in that corner. I think it's like 1,600 square feet. Yeah, 120 square meters. So yeah, like 1,300, maybe 1,350 square feet. So pretty good size, but definitely interesting. And for 52 grand. So needs a fair amount of work, obviously, on the inside, but it looks like structurally everything is there. Um, it doesn't have heat, I don't believe. Yeah, orientation is north and west, so you get sunsets maybe. It's got a fireplace, balcony, 5 rooms. Yeah. So anyway, there's one. Yeah, no heating here is what it says. So interesting, I have to put some systems in there if I wanted to make that work. But yeah, that's kind of cool. Okay, and the next one here is in a town called Coprocito. This is actually not too far from Naples. It's down in the Campania region. Here's Naples up here. This is the Amalfi Coast here. And then, as you can see, there's a bunch of national parks all around here. And this, by the way, is Vesuvius. Let's switch over to satellite. You can really see Mount Vesuvius, and then there's Pompeii. So pretty close to that. So definitely there's going to be some seismic activity here. There's going to be some maybe not so stable ground and some damage and stuff. But I thought the property looked pretty interesting. I've been looking at it actually for like a year. It disappeared for a while and they had a price drop. But it's big. This one, I think this is the one that's like 1,600. Yeah, 168 square meters, so 17 to 1,800 square feet. It's big. Probably a lot of taxes, but really, I've been looking at it for quite a while. I've looked at the pictures a lot. So this is a little balcony that's off one of the bedrooms. That's the door to the balcony. This is, I think, a main door, and this goes into a cellar. Maybe down this hallway, it goes into a cellar. This is the back door, so that would be, I think, the main street out there. You come down here. It's got a bathroom in here. This is a kitchen, I think. It's got all the fixtures for a kitchen. You walk up the steps and there's another kitchen, so it's kind of strange. So I don't know, maybe this could be turned into a rental or something, Airbnb. They have their own entrance through that back door there, and then have a bathroom too. But then here's the kitchen with the fireplace. You go up the staircase. This is that bathroom, pretty tight, but it could work. So you come up the stairs from down below. You got here. This is that entrance hall. And then behind this image here, turned around, you'll see there's a bedroom back in there. Pretty decent size, and a big bathroom, really big. And then up off one of the upper levels, there's a terrace. So this is another bedroom upstairs, I think. This is that triangle-shaped patio you could see from the front that we saw from the first picture. This is that terrace there. So we were standing in front of that car in that first photo. Yeah, big areas, another bathroom there. Then there's this huge terrace that faces west. And this is like an agricultural valley from what I can figure out. So pretty cool. And it's got this spiral staircase here. Boom, goes up. And there's actually another bonus room up above. Looks like some water damage, but this could be a cool office or a music room or whatever. Yeah, and then the view from up here so you can really see it. So this is a pretty interesting one. This is the town. The town's pretty small. It doesn't have a lot. I didn't see really any restaurants right there. Oh, this is the cellar, by the way. They have a wood burning stove in the cellar, and they've got this huge wine barrel down there. It's pretty cool too. But there's the barrel, and that could most likely be able to get a motorcycle in there. So yeah, that place is pretty interesting. But the big drawback is there aren't really any restaurants here. There's some cafes, a gelateria, maybe a pizzeria or something like that. It's pretty kind of isolated, but it's on a ridge here, and one of the bonuses is it's only about, I don't know, 20 minutes to the beaches along here. So yeah, that would be pretty nice. So there's quite a few beaches along here that look pretty nice. And then you would have West Coast thing. I mean, look at that beach. Wow, that looks gorgeous. So one of the issues here, obviously, is dealing with seismic activity, earthquakes, volcano eruptions. Who knows? And it's really quite a ways far south. So to get anywhere else, it's a long ways to go. But anyway, those were a couple properties I wanted to share with you guys. Hope you enjoyed them.